morning. Welcome to the video. Welcome to my kids in the background. They're just gonna hang out with us today, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and do a wear test on the new Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac foundation. It is marketed as like a tinted moisturizer, but with buildable, like up to buildable medium coverage. I did test this out briefly before, but today I actually want to do a full wear test. I absolutely love the original Stay Naked foundation as well as the Stay Naked powder foundations. They are two of my favorites in my collection. So I saw this was being launched and I just had to pick it up. So to start, I already have my skincare done. I am going to go ahead and use my Milk Makeup. It's my blur stick. It's just a primer that's extremely reliable. I love it under any foundation, so I just figured I'd go in with something I normally do. When I do these wear tests, I typically prefer like something that I would typically do on an everyday. I'll wear it for as many hours as possible, but I'm just kind of looking at what a regular day looks like for me. I don't feel the need to maybe go like 12 or 14 hours. I mean, if I do, great, but if not, I just want something that's going to work as an everyday wear. I don't see this as being something I wear when I go out for a full glam look. This is more just kind of like an everyday kind of foundation. So anyway, I'm going to start with my Milk Makeup blur stick. By the way, here's the face just with a little bit of moisturizer on. Nothing on that's going to do anything to the foundation, but I'm just going to put this all over my face, my areas, get the red spots on my nose, and just put that everywhere. And once that's on, I don't really feel the need to have it settle in my skin too much. I typically like to let it settle for a minute, but this is actually, it's quick to settle, so I'm not overly worried about it. After that, what's typically next in my routine is I'm going to take my Awake Super Juice, and I just like to dampen the skin up a little bit. It's too low to spray, so I'm going to go ahead and take it on a beauty blender and just kind of dampen up. Actually, I just used the last bit of this, so this is done. I did like this stuff, by the way. But I'm just going to put it all over my face just to dampen the skin. I find that I like doing this with my foundations every day, and it just kind of helps with the process of blending. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to take my foundation on the back of a beauty blender. This is just an e.l.f. sponge. I have mine in the shade 30 Light, and that is the light neutral. That's typically what I am in my other foundations. I'm like the 30 and in both the Stay Naked, or in both the liquid and the powder foundation of this line. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my beauty blender. Usually about that much does the trick. I'm just going to dab that all over my face, all over my forehead, and yeah. Alright, I moved you a little bit closer to my mirror here, but I'm just going to blend that in. So far it seems to be doing okay, getting that under my eyes. Color match seems to do good. I mean, it's the winter time, so I'm a little bit lighter. Typically in the summer I run a little bit more on the light scale, but in the winter I run a little bit more fair. But overall, I mean, it's a little bit off, but we'll see how that settles in. But I can always combat that with concealer. That's super easy to do. Alright, now that that's on, the shade match, actually, it looks a little bit cool right from the get-go. But again, it's not completely settled in yet, which is fine. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. This is actually, I thought it was going to be a little bit warm because I do run like more warm neutral, I find. But it actually works out quite well, and once I put the rest of my face products on, should be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and conceal with my Benefit Boing. It's the hydrating concealer. This is in the shade number 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there. And do that. Put that on my nose. And then I'm just going to blend that in. And that'll Usually it doesn't. Usually when your foundation's a little bit off, concealer and bronzer and stuff will usually do the trick. Never. It's so hard to wear foundations on its own, but honestly the color match is not bad at all. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I mean, it looks like it's kind of a light coverage. I mean, it feels to me a little bit heavier than a Tinted Moisturizer, but not as heavy as like a normal foundation. I don't think I need to build it up anymore. It kind of covered up what I wanted it to. But I typically prefer my foundations on the lighter coverage side. The concealer, I'm not going to powder the concealer just because I really want to see what the foundation will do underneath without any kind of powder stuff aside from like my bronzer and blush and stuff. But yeah, I will go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and I will be back to check in. By the way, it is currently 8:50 at the time I put this on. Alright, it is currently 9:40. We're all ready to go. We're going to church today. Mia's ready for a nap, but anyway, so this is what it looks like with the makeup on. I use all of my products that I'm confident in. So overall, I say in the summertime the shade match for me will be more accurate, but because it is winter I run a little bit more fair and cool tone, but in the summer I tend to run a little bit more more warm tone and a little bit more on the light side. So I think overall, I mean, the shade match is definitely not bad. I feel like this is going to be more of a summer match for me, which is fine because that's typically when I want tinted moisturizers anyway. But overall, I've got my mirror right here, but overall I feel like the coverage is pretty solid. I mean, it's not too light. It's not too light of a coverage, but it's not too full either. It definitely has the tinted moisturizer qualities to it, which I really like. So, I mean, overall, I mean, first impression, I feel like it could be a pretty good, like, ideal foundation for somebody. If you're wanting full coverage, that's not going to be the foundation for you. But for me, I like mine a little bit more light coverage. And I definitely like a good tinted moisturizer, so I feel like this is, like, a perfect combination for something like that. So anyway, and it's 10:40 by the way, so I will go ahead and do a check-in probably around 1 o'clock. Alright, so it's been about 4 hours. So far we are looking good. I mean, I don't see any patchiness, really any cakiness or anything. Yeah, it's not, I don't see any budging. Normally I'll see some streaking on the cheeks or on the chin. I mean, there's a little bit on the chin, but nothing more really worrying about. Normally by this point, the chin's like completely cleared off for me. But overall, I mean, I'm liking it. It sits really well with underneath everything. My makeup's really not budging. I'm honestly, so far so good. I'll go ahead and check in later this afternoon. Alright, it is almost 6 o'clock. It's the end of my day. This has been on for a full 8 hours, and quite honestly, I am impressed. I don't see anywhere. I mean, a little bit from my chin, but that's like eating, drinking, and stuff. Overall, I mean, my nose, it's got some wear there, so that's normal. I'm not overly worried about it. Quite honestly, if foundation can stay on my nose and my chin, I will be like beyond impressed. But I definitely like this. I think it's a good foundation. Is it worth your money? I mean, maybe. I mean, it just kind of depends. Do you need a good lightweight foundation that can build into medium coverage? I do think, however, it is a perfect like combination of a tinted moisturizer and a medium coverage foundation. So I mean, honestly, that formula alone, it could be worth it for sure. So but if you're not wanting a lightweight or a medium coverage or light to medium coverage foundation, this definitely will not be the one for you. But overall, honestly, I like it. I personally would recommend it. It's definitely good for those who want just a little bit of coverage, but they're not looking for like the full face. So yeah, yes, I would honestly recommend this, but again, I don't think it'd be for everyone, especially if you are wanting a more full coverage foundation. So with that, thank you for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button, And I will see you in the next video. God bless and bye guys.